Hey everyone, I have a question. If you could show your story to thousands of people every single month, what would that do for your business? If people could know who you are, why you're doing what you do every single month, how would that impact your business? Well, don't think about it too long because it's kind of a no-brainer. Obviously, it would be a positive impact on your business, right? So let's put a pin in that just for 1 second. And let's look at it from the other side. So let's say that it's your anniversary and you're looking for some jewelry for your partner to celebrate your anniversary. So you go online, you go to YouTube, you go to Amazon, you go wherever you go, whatever your go-to is, and you come across a video and Sarah pops up and she's talking about her passion for rocks and she's talking about her passion for gems. And you see all this beautiful jewelry that she makes, all this original jewelry that she makes that you've never seen anywhere, and you realize that she's traveled all over the world to get to this jewelry. And she has a knack for being able to find these things that other people can't find, so she can keep her prices down. So you're getting more intrigued. You're like, this is really unique. This is different from anything I've ever seen, right? And what you also learn is that not only does she travel the world and create this jewelry and have this knack and this passion for it, but she's doing good to the indigenous people that are supplying the gems and the stones to her. As a matter of fact, she's taking 50% of her profit and she's donating it to these people so they're not overcome and manipulated by big conglomerates. So suddenly it's like, wow, this woman, Sarah's saintly and her jewelry is beautiful. So how did you learn this? Did you learn this by doing deep research and looking her up? And no. Did you learn it by following all of her blogs? No, you simply had a video pop up and you got all of this information on a visceral level. You got the information and you got the heart and like, this woman's in my camp, right? I relate to her, I understand her, I know who she is because I know who I am and I've connected with her. So why is that so easy? Why is that such a natural thing for us to do? Because we're natural storytellers. As human beings, we've always been storytellers. You go back 10,000 years, we're sitting around a fire and we're talking about story. We're talking about ourselves and we're talking about our experiences. We're not talking about stats. We're not giving information. We're not doing any hard sells because our brains don't like that. It's natural for us to take in a story. It's how we remember things. It's how we identify with things. So have you ever been at a mixer and you're talking to someone about their business and suddenly they corner you and they start giving you all the details? Here's how I did it. Here's what I do. Here's why I give such great customer service. Here's why you want to work with me. And you're bored, right? You're bored by it. You're upset by it. It is not what you want to hear. And we know this. Like, as business owners, we know that if we inundate people with all the details of our business, we're going to turn them off. Yet, the first thing we do when we go to make a video, and I think we all do it, is we do exactly that. We go, I'm so-and-so, and my business is better than everyone else's because my product is better than everyone else's, and I provide the best customer service in the world, right? Well, if they're clicking on your link, they already assume those things. What they really want to know is who you are. They want to know two things. They want to know who you are, and they want to know why you're the best person to solve their problem. People don't care about anything else. And when you're looking for a product, that's the main thing that you're looking for. You're looking for that story and you're looking for how they're going to solve your problem. So I'm a content creator. I have a background in TV and that's what I've always done and I love telling stories. So I want to tell you about Max. Max was one of my first clients and he's an incredible artisan. He created these amazing works of art. He does stained glass. He does it for art and he also embeds them into windows for people. And he's done this, for years and years and years, but he was failing. His business was failing because he was putting all his time and his effort into the craft, which is what he should be doing, but he didn't have the know-how, the time, the energy to put into anything else. He didn't know how to promote himself, how to advertise himself, how to really get himself out there. So he'd go to trade shows, total financial disaster, right? He would try to get into galleries, but he couldn't. He didn't have the reputation for it. And he just couldn't get his stuff out to people. So somebody came up to him one day and said, hey, you know what? I know what your problem is. You need to make video. Now, no, I know what you're thinking. It wasn't me. I wasn't the person that said that to him. But he was told that 86% of people that see videos it leads to a sale. It leads to a sale for product and services. That means 86% of all products and services sold are as a result of a video, or a video was involved in that process. So he's like, yeah, of course, I'll make a video. So he makes some videos, he posts them, and his problems are solved, right? It's done. He made his video, so it's fine, right? No, that's not what happened, because, and I'm going to say this again, and this is the first time I'm going to say it, bad video is worse than no video. I have absolutely no reason to tell you that because I'm a video maker. That is my life, and I'm telling you that bad video is worse than no video. I'm not trying to sell you bad video. That's why I'm telling you that. So what happened with Max? He decided that he needed to hire somebody. So he did hire me. This time it was me. And we talked about what was missing. I'm like, Max, what is missing from your videos? You're on camera, great, but you're talking about price, and you're talking about the details of how you make these products, and you're trying to sell these products, and you keep lowering your price and putting yourself out of business, essentially. What's missing is you. You're missing, Max. So what is your story? And Max told me his story. And he was born in Laguna Beach on the South California coast. And he was orphaned at a very young age, and he was adopted by foster parents, and those foster parents were abusive. And he had a very dysfunctional family. So what he would do is he would escape to the coastline of Laguna Beach, and he would take in the beauty of it. He would take in the skies and the ocean and the patterns of the seaweed on the sand and the starfish, and it was his only happy place. And because he found this happy place, he was able to emotionally survive his childhood and make it to adulthood. So now the art that he creates, the beautiful blues and the sparkling greens and the vibrant reds and the yellows that pop, all of those things are a manifestation of his emotional connection to that childhood getaway that he had. The coast saved his life. So he's taken that and he's put that into his work. So now when people look at his work, they go, wow, I can experience that coastal feeling. I can experience that joy and that happiness that he has, and I understand and I relate to it. So what do you think happened to Max's business after he told his story? People wanted to be a part of that business. They wanted to be connected. They wanted a part of that experience in their homes, on their windows. And so now Max's business is thriving. He is in galleries. He has had to create a production line, essentially, to get enough of the stuff out. And everything kind of fell together for him the right way. So I told Sarah's story, and I told Max's story. The one story I have not told yet is mine. And this is always the hardest part for me, because when we tell our stories, we become vulnerable. But first I want to talk about my passion, and then I want to talk about how I got to where I am now. So I would say that my passion is a need for deep relationships, a need to really relate to people, understand people, especially one-on-one relationships, personal relationships. And my other need is that I want to tell stories. I want to get people to tell their stories in an accurate way, in a fun way, in an effective way. So I was kind of a big deal for a while, so I thought. I was in Hollywood for 30 years. I had a job working as a senior editor and executive producer at a company owned by a very popular rodent. Can you guys figure this one out? Can you put the pieces together on this one? So I was there doing that, and everything looked good. I had a lot of paid vacation. And I had a life that looked great. I lived in the Hollywood Hills. I had a beautiful wife. I had a young daughter. I had a job that was steady, and I was able to win awards, stuff like that. So from the outside, it looked great. But the reality was that I was not happy and I was not satisfied, because in that frame, the way that I had to tell stories was really based on other people's ideas. And it was deadline driven, and it was budget driven. And the thing that it was missing was quality. They didn't care about quality, and that killed me because I felt underutilized. So I had this deep unhappiness connected with this. The money didn't matter at that point. And this perfect home that I had wasn't perfect. Wife was bipolar. Daughter was ADHD. They were fighting all the time. So I would be at a job that I didn't like. I would come home and I'd be putting out fires, and I became depressed, and my life became unsustainable, and something had to give, and the dam had to break. And the dam did break. So the first thing that happened was I realized that it's bad for my daughter for me to be in this marriage, got out, lost my wife, couldn't see my daughter as much as I wanted, didn't have the Hollywood home anymore. And soon after that, I walk into work, well, at least I have my job. The entire department was axed one day, and I didn't have that. So I hit an identity crisis. I'm like, well, who am I? I can't tell stories and I can't have deep relationships anymore. Well, that's what I thought. But the reality was it gave me the opportunity to realize that the part of my job and the part of my life that I love the most was the way that I connect with people and the way that I connect with business owners in particular. And even in the work that I did at the Rodent Place was work that enabled people to show their greatness, to shine, and to be in front of the camera and have that moment. And I realized that's what excited me, was for people to have that moment. So now I've studied businesses, I've been a business coach, I've worked with different businesses, and the exciting part is now I can build their stories and enable them to tell their stories. So I just wanted to give some extra value here. We've talked a lot about stories today, and this talk is about showing your story, but part of showing your story is technical. There is a technical element to it. So I just want to throw out some very quick technical tips. First of all, audio is by far the absolute most important thing that you can get right in a video. If your audio is bad, you got nothing, because your ears are 100 times smarter than your eyes. And I don't know, a lot of people don't realize that, but I want to make that clear. So make sure that you have a controlled audio environment and some decent mics when you shoot. The other thing is make sure you're well lit. You don't want people suffering to see you or weird shadows on your face or anything like that. And the other thing is you want to be in action. Now, yes, I'm in front of a black backdrop today, and that's the format of this. But if you're making a video and you can do absolutely anything that you want to do, why would you stand here and be a talking head? Blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't want to do that. So let's say that you own a sports line and you want to sell some sports clothing. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a video of yourself jogging, or you're going to want to take a video of yourself lifting weights, or maybe interviewing an athlete, a well-known athlete. So all those things are action, and action is vital. The other element that for me, I'm extremely biased because I love editing and I love putting things together. But the thing that's the most exciting for me is the editing. And this is called showing your story. And a huge part of showing your story are the images that you have that support what you're talking about. And you know how they say a picture paints 1,000 words? Well, a second of video is 30 frames. So imagine in 2 minutes how many frames that is. That's millions of words. Millions of words when you have good editing and when you're supporting it. So video is a visceral experience. It's a visceral story experience. So not only are you hearing the story and getting the story told, but you're experiencing all the visuals, all the emotions, music, everything. So the way a video comes together is you get several streams of information at once, and if the central theme of those several streams of information at once are a story that you can relate to, it's going to be 10 times more effective. So you heard 3 stories today. You heard Sarah's story, you heard Max's story, and you heard my story. And what those things have in common is there was something in there that you could personally relate to. So when we create our videos to support our businesses, it's really vital that we create that connection and let that do the heavy lifting so we don't have to be salesmen, because nobody wants to be sold. People just want the 2 things, and I'll remind you of this again. They just want to know who you are and why you're the best person to give them what they want and what they need. So I want to leave you with this. When you're done with this video, I want you to go into a quiet room and close your eyes, and I want you to think of 2 or 3 things that really matter to you. I told you what mine were. Mine were deep, meaningful relationships and enabling people to tell their stories the right way. Those are my 2 things. So go in there, figure out what your 2 things are, maybe 3 things, shut your eyes and say, okay, what would be the best way for me to show those 3 things? And then I want you to write them down. That's all I want you to do. Just write those 3 things down. And when you're done sitting there thinking about it, I want you to envision what those things would look like if you put them all together in a video. Because you deserve to be seen, and you deserve to be seen the right way. I'm Peter K. Weiner, and I thank you for listening to me today.